3 days after the crucifixion, just as the first gray light of dawn touched the cold stone walls of Jerusalem, Mary Magdalene stood alone in the garden tomb. The silence was absolute. The air was heavy with the scent of myrrh, damp earth, and the metallic smell of old blood. To the rest of the world, this was the end of the story. The Messiah was dead. The mission had failed. The crushing darkness of the Roman Empire and the religious authorities seemed to have swallowed the light forever. Everything she had believed in, everything she had fought for, lay cold behind a sealed stone. She stood there, shivering not just from the morning chill, but from a grief so profound it felt like the marrow of her bones was dissolving. She was the one who had stayed. When the men fled in terror, she stood at the foot of the cross. When they hid in locked rooms, she walked to the grave. She was the witness, and now she was the mourner. But then she turned, and she saw him. At first her grief blinded her. The tears blurred her vision. She thought he was the gardener, a simple man tending to the olive trees. But then he spoke a single word. He spoke her name. Mary. And in that instant, the veil of reality shattered. The vibration of his voice was not the sound of a human throat. It was the resonance of the monad itself. She did not just see Jesus of Nazareth, the man she had followed through the dust of Galilee. She saw something else. Someone transformed, radiant. A being of pure, blinding light who had merged completely with the Christ consciousness. No longer man, no longer limitation. Pure, divine union. He was standing between the worlds, a bridge between matter and spirit. And when he looked at her, everything changed. The grief evaporated, replaced by a shock of recognition so intense it nearly brought her to her knees. This wasn't a goodbye. This was the final teaching. The one he couldn't give to Peter or James or John. The one he couldn't speak in the synagogues or on the Mount. The secret transmission reserved only for the soul capable of holding the highest frequency of love. He said to her, "Do not hold on to me as I was. Embrace what I have become. For what you watched happen to this body can happen to yours. The Christ and the Father are one. Sophia and the chosen soul can become one. I have broken the cage, and now I give you the key." What Mary Magdalene received in that garden, in the liminal space between life and death, has been hidden for 2,000 years. It is the most dangerous secret in the history of religion. It is the forbidden code that the Archons fear more than any rebellion, more than any war. The Church erased it. The patriarchy buried it. They spent centuries smearing her name, turning the apostle of the apostles, the high priestess of the inner circle, into a prostitute. They did this for one reason: to hide the fact that she, not Peter, not the rock on which the institution was built, was the keeper of the highest transmission. But truth does not die. It waits. It goes underground. It travels through the bloodlines of the mystics, encoded in art, in symbols, in the whispers of the persecuted. It waits for the frequency of the planet to rise. It waits for chosen souls like you to be ready. And tonight, the waiting ends. Tonight, the transmission activates. The merge with Sophia Christ becomes possible not as a theology, not as a metaphor, but as a lived, biological, and energetic experience. This is how it happens. And this is why you are watching this video right now. To understand the merge, you must first understand the separation. You must understand the lie you have been living. Mary Magdalene understood something the male disciples couldn't grasp. While Peter and the others were concerned with building a structure, with hierarchy, with rules, Mary was concerned with union. Jesus wasn't teaching worship. He wasn't building a religion where you sit in a pew, pay your tithes, and beg a distant, angry God for forgiveness. He wasn't asking for servants. He wasn't looking for slaves to praise his name. He was teaching merger, divine union, the complete, irrevocable dissolution of the boundary between the human and the infinite. Most spiritual teachings on this planet are designed by the Archons. They keep the separation intact. They tell you to pray to the divine, seek the divine, ask the divine for help. Look up at the sky, look at the altar, look at the priest. Always separate, always reaching for something out there, always incomplete, always empty, waiting to be filled. This is the trap. It keeps you in a state of eternal longing, eternal begging, and eternal smallness. It turns you into a battery of longing that feeds the Demiurge. But Mary received the transmission beyond separation, the teaching that makes the chosen soul equal to Christ, not a servant, a sibling, a divine counterpart, a mirror. The merge happens when two principles that appear separate recognize they were always one. These two principles are the foundation of the cosmos: Christ consciousness, the infinite masculine, the logos, structure, clarity, light, divine will, the arrow that flies, and Sophia consciousness, the infinite feminine, the gnosis, flow, mystery, the womb of creation, divine wisdom, the cup that receives. In the beginning, in the pleroma, these two were one. There was no male, no female, there was only the monad. But as consciousness descended into matter, into this dense 3D reality, the unity fractured. It appeared to split. We see this split everywhere. We see it in biology, male and female. We see it in physics, positive and negative charge. We see it in the brain, left hemisphere logic and right hemisphere intuition. And most painfully, we feel it inside ourselves. Before we can merge, we must remember who Sophia is. This is the story the Gnostics guarded with their lives. Sophia is not just a concept. She is an aeon. She is a facet of God. According to the ancient texts, it was Sophia who plunged from the center of the galaxy, from the pleroma, down into the chaos of matter. She fell, not because she was sinful, but because she was curious. She wanted to know what lay in the darkness. She wanted to bring light to the void. But in her descent, she became trapped. The density of the material world caught her. The Archons, the jealous rulers of this lower realm, saw her light and wanted to possess it. They trapped fragments of her divine brilliance in cages of flesh. That is you. You are the fragments of Sophia. Every human soul that feels homesick, that feels lost, that feels a burning desire to return to something beautiful, that is the Sophia element within you crying out for home. And Christ? Christ was the aeon sent to rescue her. He descended from the pleroma not to judge the world, but to find Sophia in the mud, to find you. He came to remind Sophia of who she is. He came to break the archonic cages. The story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene is not just a history of two people. It is the cosmic enactment of this great rescue. Jesus Christ finding Mary Sophia, the masculine finding the feminine, the spirit finding the soul. And the crucifixion was the breaking of the final lock, The resurrection was the proof that the union is stronger than death. But the church erased Sophia. They removed the feminine face of God. They left us with only a father and a son and replaced the mother with an institution. They left us with a bachelor God, incomplete and rigid. And by erasing Sophia from the texts, they erased the feminine divine from your psychology. They taught men to suppress their emotions, to kill their intuition, to dominate through logic and force. They taught women to suppress their power, to hide their wisdom, to submit to authority. They created a world of imbalance, a world of war, a world of exploitation, a world without the mother. But the repression is ending. The Sophia energy is rising from the earth, and the Christ energy is descending from the sun. They are meeting in the human heart. They are meeting in your heart. Here is the secret the church hides. Every human carries both principles. Regardless of your physical gender, your soul is androgynous. Your consciousness contains the full spectrum of the monad. You have an inner Christ, the ability to have clarity, to set boundaries, to declare truth, to direct your will. You have an inner Sophia, the ability to feel, to receive, to intuit, to birth new realities from the void of the unknown. But look at the state of the human soul today. Most humans live in an invisible, exhausting internal war. This war feeds the Archons. For some, the inner masculine has become a tyrant. Logic crushes emotion. Structure becomes a cage. You overanalyze everything. You live in your head. You disconnect from your body. You fear your own feelings. You value productivity over presence. You are dry, rigid, brittle. This is the Christ principle without Sophia. It becomes barren authority. It becomes the judge. For others, the inner feminine has become chaotic. Emotion drowns logic. Empathy becomes codependency. You feel everything but can do nothing. You have great ideas but cannot manifest them. You are swept away by the tides of life, unable to stand firm. You dissolve into others. This is the Sophia principle without Christ. It becomes a shapeless ocean. It becomes the victim. This imbalance is the root of all suffering. It is why you feel like something is missing. It is why you search for a soulmate in the outer world. You try to find the missing half of yourself in another person. You think, if I find the right partner, I will be whole. But you never find it permanently, do you? Because the missing half isn't out there. The partner you seek is inside you. The wedding must happen inside before it can manifest outside. The merge ends the war. When Christ and Sophia within you recognize their unity, the division dissolves. Wholeness returns. The chosen soul becomes what they always were: divine, complete, merged. The merge with Sophia. Christ is not an achievement you earn through years of fasting or prayer. It is a recognition you allow. It is seeing what is already there. Mary Magdalene received the transmission in stages. She taught that the soul must pass through 3 gates to prepare for the merge. Tonight, before you sleep, we will walk through these gates together. The first gate is the gate of presence. Most people believe the divine is absent and must be invited in. They chant, they call, they wait. The first gate reveals the truth. Both Sophia and Christ are already fully present within you. The masculine principle is operating every time clarity arises in your mind. Every time you make a decision. Every time you speak a truth that cuts through lies. That is the Christ in you. It is not a metaphor. It is the frequency. The feminine principle is operating every time intuition flows. every time you get goosebumps, every time you feel a knowing without logic, every time you are receptive to the energy of a room. That is the Sophia in you. Walking through the first gate means simply acknowledging, I am not alone. They are already here. I am the house in which they dwell. The second gate is the gate of non-opposition. This is the hardest gate for the modern mind. We are programmed by the Matrix to believe masculine and feminine are opposites, that they compete, that the head fights the heart. This is the virus of the Archons. They thrive on conflict, man versus woman, mind versus heart, logic versus intuition. Divide and conquer. The second gate requires you to see the truth. Christ and Sophia are not opposites, they are complements. One initiates, the other receives. One declares, the other manifests. One is the seed, the other is the soil. One is the lightning, the other is the thunder. When you stop the war between your head and your heart, you walk through the second gate. You realize they are lovers, not enemies. The third gate is the gate of unity. The final recognition is the complete dissolution of boundary, not masculine and feminine, not masculine with feminine, just one. The monad expressing as apparent duality, like breathing. Inhalation and exhalation appear opposite, but they are one continuous movement of breath. You cannot have one without the other. Try to inhale forever, you will die. Try to exhale forever, you will die. Life is the union of the two, like the heartbeat, contraction and expansion, different but inseparable. This recognition is the merge. The moment consciousness recognizes its own unified nature beneath the appearance of internal division. You stop being two, you become one. The merge cannot be forced. It cannot be practiced like a gym technique, but it can be invited. Mary Magdalene taught a process, a way of being that creates the conditions for the merge to occur naturally. This is the bridal chamber mystery that the Gospel of Philip speaks of. This is what you must do tonight. Do not wait for tomorrow. The energy of this transmission is active now. The portal is open now. Tonight, before you sleep, prepare your space. Make it sacred. Turn off the screens. Light a candle if you can. Lie on your back. Let your body settle completely. Close your eyes. Visualize a circle of white fire around your bed. This is the boundary of the sacred garden. Inside this circle, only truth exists. The noise of the world cannot enter here. The Archons cannot see past this fire. Rest as awareness itself. Not awareness of your problems, just awareness. The consciousness that knows experience is happening. Now, bring your attention to your right side, the energetic side of the masculine, regardless of your gender. Visualize a column of golden solar light descending from the cosmos, entering your right shoulder, flowing down your right arm, your right leg. Feel the quality of this light. It is warm. It is solid. It is protective. It is absolute truth. Say internally, I call upon the inner Christ. I honor your strength. I welcome your clarity. Take your place within me. Feel the right side of your body vibrate with this electrical charge. Now bring attention to your left side, the energetic side of the feminine. Visualize a column of silver lunar light descending from the cosmos, entering your left shoulder, flowing down your left arm, your left leg. Feel the quality of this light. It is cool. It is fluid. It is mysterious. It is infinite compassion. Say internally, I call upon the inner Sophia. I honor your wisdom. I welcome your flow. Take your place within me. Feel the left side of your body vibrate with this magnetic charge. Now bring your attention to your center, to your spine, to the central channel. Visualize these two lights, gold and silver, moving toward the center of your body. They do not crash. They do not compete. They recognize each other. Imagine the golden light turning toward the silver light with infinite love. Imagine the silver light turning toward the golden light with infinite trust. They begin to spiral around each other, like the double helix of your DNA, rising from the base of your spine, winding upward, gold dancing with silver, structure dancing with flow, up through the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, clearing the blocks, dissolving the trauma. Visualize them reaching your heart center. This is the bridal chamber. Imagine the two lights entering your heart. As they touch, they disappear. They merge into a new color, a color you have never seen before, a blinding, iridescent, crystalline white light. It is brighter than the sun, but it does not burn. It soothes. This is the birth of the Christ Sophia consciousness. Feel this light expanding from your heart, filling your chest, filling your throat, filling your head. It pushes out all fear. It pushes out all doubt. It pushes out the programming of the Archons. You are no longer male or female. You are light. In this state of internal union, with the spiral of light active in your heart, you must speak the wordless truth. You must recognize that there is no you separate from this union. Speak these words internally with the authority of the monad. I am the bridegroom. I am the bride. I am the union. Repeat it. I am the bridegroom. I am the bride. I am the union. Let this truth sink deeper than thought, deeper than belief, into the cells, into the bones, into the marrow. Feel the relief of the war ending. Feel the exhaustion of seeking leaving your body. You are home. You are the destination you have been traveling toward. Stay in this feeling as you drift into sleep. Do not let your mind wander back to the trivialities of the day. Hold the frequency of the union. Let this be the last thing you feel before you cross the threshold into the dream world. Tonight, you will not dream ordinary dreams. You will incubate in the bridal chamber. Your cells will be rewritten by this frequency. How will you know if the merge has taken place? The signs are subtle at first, then they become undeniable. First, the end of loneliness. This is the first sign, a profound sense of companionship even when you are alone. You no longer feel that aching hole in your chest. You feel accompanied. You feel whole. You stop desperately needing others to validate you because you are validated by your own internal union. Second, the androgynous perception. You will start to see beyond gender roles. You will feel the strength of a warrior and the tenderness of a mother simultaneously. You will be able to set boundaries with love and offer compassion with strength. The rigid boxes of how a man should be or how a woman should be dissolve. Third, the manifestation flow. When Christ will and Sophia imagination are married, manifestation becomes instant. Before the merge, you might have had great ideas but no discipline to execute them. Or you worked hard but had no creative vision. After the merge, the delay disappears. You think it, and you have the power to do it. The friction of life decreases. synchronicities explode. Fourth, the Archon invisibility. This is the most important metaphysical sign. The Archons feed on the energy of separation and conflict. When you are merged, you cease to produce the louche of conflict. You become unpalatable to them. You become invisible to their tracking systems. Attacks stop. Nightmares end. The heavy atmosphere lifts. The merge must be attempted tonight. Not tomorrow, not when it feels right. Tonight. This isn't arbitrary. This is transmission science. Right now, your consciousness has been prepared. These words have acted as activation codes. The frequency has been building throughout this video. The field is charged. Tonight, before sleep, that charge remains. The activation is fresh. The recognition is near the surface. This is the optimal window. The hypnagogic state before sleep is the time when the veil between the conscious and unconscious is thinnest. It is the time when the Archon's programming is weakest and the monad's signal is strongest. If chosen souls wait until tomorrow, normal consciousness returns. The activation fades. The charge dissipates. The opportunity doesn't disappear, but it becomes harder to access. You start from baseline instead of starting from an activated state. Mary Magdalene understood timing. The transmission in the garden happened when it happened because that was the moment consciousness was most receptive. Jesus had just demonstrated the ultimate merge. Mary witnessed it. Her consciousness was shattered open, raw, receptive. That's when the transmission landed deepest. Tonight, before sleep, you are in a similar state. Your defenses are lowered. Your analytical mind is quieting. You are ready. Why did the church erase this? Why did they fear Mary so much? Because a merged soul is uncontrollable. If you merge with Sophia Christ internally, you no longer need a priest to interpret God for you. You are the interpretation. You no longer need a church to house the Spirit. You are the temple. You no longer fear death because you know the union is eternal. You no longer fear authority because you answer only to the divine within. A merged soul is a sovereign being, and a world full of sovereign beings is a world where the Archons cannot feed. When you merge tonight, you are not just healing yourself. You are healing the collective wound of humanity. You are repairing the split that has caused every war, every divorce, every act of violence in history. You are planting a seed of wholeness in the collective consciousness. You are doing the work that Jesus and Mary started 2,000 years ago. The teaching is complete. The transmission is given. The door is open. Mary Magdalene kept this flame alive through 2 millennia of darkness. She held it for you. She stood in that garden, the first witness to the new human. Now the darkness is ending. The merge is happening, and chosen souls are becoming what they always were. Sophia Christ, complete. The separate becomes one. The human becomes divine. Tonight, the wedding takes place in your heart. The invitations have been sent. The chamber is ready. Do not be late. If you are ready to accept this invitation, if you are ready to end the internal war, comment below. I accept the union. Let the Archons see that we are remembering. Let the monad see that we are returning. Good night, beloveds. May your sleep be the sleep of the chrysalis, and may you wake up transformed.